Well, things have just gotten very interesting when it comes to the Nintendo Switch Online service. Earlier today, I made a video talking about the fact that it seemed like something was happening with the service. There's undergoing some maintenance coming up in the upcoming week, happening early next week, and I thought it was suspicious because usually whenever you see this, you see more games being added to the service. Of course, it probably wasn't going to be an N64 game considering we just got Mario Golf, but there are 3 other systems available, the NES and the Super NES and Sega Genesis. So it seemed like a surefire thing that something was going to be happening next week, and really it made a lot of sense. But now things have gotten a little bit more interesting. Make sure you watch that video if you haven't yet already, because now there's a potential big leak. There's a big leak that have just happened. I'm not saying that it is an official leak. I'm not saying it is 100% concrete, but there's a lot of reason to believe it is an actual leak. A lot of people are saying that this does look very legitimate, and if that's the case, well, things just got very interesting because we've talked about the potential for Game Boy and Game Boy Color to be coming to the Nintendo Switch Online service. It just seemed like a smart thing, and it seemed like something that would make a lot of sense. But Game Boy Advance was kind of an outlier. It was kind of something that we didn't really think was going to happen until, like I said, today, because things have just gotten very interesting. Some files randomly popped up on 4chan, and I know it's 4chan, take with it a grain of salt. However, these files are from an anonymous person. It's not someone looking to get clout or anything like that. These were just uploaded onto 4chan servers and then discovered by people. And when people opened up these files, they found some very interesting discoveries. It looks like it's the emulator stuff for the Nintendo Switch Online service for the Game Boy Advance. Like, crazy stuff here. Now, I don't know if I can show you what these pictures are, because there are pictures of the emulator and the files and stuff in action. I'm just going to sort of describe them to you guys because I feel like Nintendo might come after people talking about this, and they already don't like me to begin with. Go back to the Metroid Dread situation, so I don't want any more beef with them, and if they strike this video, well, they can just kiss my ass because I will burn them to the stake. But in these pictures, basically, it looks like Nintendo Switch's Online's emulator for the Game Boy has leaked, the Game Boy Advance. It's called the Sloop Game Boy Emulator, SLOOP, and it has a copyright date on it and stuff like that, and it just has a lot of interesting stuff on here. So there are some games that are leaked onto this, such as Pokemon Pinball, Ruby and Sapphire, Tactics Ogre, The Night of Lotus, Mario Kart, some Golden Sun, Mario Brothers, the original game that of course got a re-release via, I believe it was on one of those Super Mario Advance cartridges. It looks like this might actually be a standalone version of that game though, but there's a lot of stuff in here in this actual image talking about things like multiplayer, which of course is something that the Game Boy Advance could do via a link cable. So it looks like that link cable functionality is going to be brought over. There's actually some information on random matchmaking, such as select Pokedex or high scores, where you could do things like randomly match with people online. I'm not sure what that actually means. There is an image of that, but there is some interesting stuff, such as semi-transparency lens flare, semi-transparency anti-aliasing effects, meaning that the games are going to be cleaned up. There's a color palette thing as well. Of course, it does have the basic features that you have in Nintendo Switch Online games, such as save states, but there's actually record and rewind as well. I'm not quite sure what that means. I'm guessing that might have something to do with rewinding the game like you can do, and maybe recording the game internally, and save data memory. But what's weird is there's actually an image of the Easy Flash cart, which is something that Nintendo absolutely hated and would always try to go after, and it says resume suspend point from emulator onto original hardware to confirm original behavior. Try this on PC. So almost like using an Easy Flash cartridge to make sure everything works. I don't know, that's really weird. And then there's actually some pictures of this running in action. It looks like Mario versus Donkey Kong is one of them. There is an F-Zero one with a lot of interesting things on this, such as increased speed, toggle LCD color filter. You know what? I'm going to show these pictures just very briefly, and if Nintendo wants to come after me, they can kiss my ass, and I'll fight them. I'll fight them because whatever, you know, they can get over it. Normal speed stuff, save screenshot, just a lot of cool stuff here. And once again, it has the Sloop emulator for NX, so it looks like this might have actually been in development for quite a while, as the NX was actually called, you know, that's what the Nintendo Switch was before it was changed to the Nintendo, or the NX. Jesus Christ, I cannot talk. The NX was the Nintendo Switch originally, and that was the code name for it, and then the system came out. So it looks rather convincing. It looks like there is a lot of stuff here where it's like, you know, a lot of this makes sense. So there's a lot of cool stuff going on with this, and obviously adding in Game Boy Advance would be a very big deal. Now, I have seen some people say it is a real thing, that it's 100% legit, people that I trust, but like I said, I kind of just want to, you know, keep expectations in line just in case this is something that was just an extremely elaborate hoax that I don't think it is a hoax, because so many people that are in the know of stuff like this have confirmed that it is real and stuff like that. So it looks like this is a legitimate thing. Now, is this what's happening next week? Like, that's sort of a question that I want to bring to the table, because I don't think so. It seems a little bit soon to be dropping a new system, but you do have to remember one thing. We only know about 2 more N64 games coming out to the Nintendo Switch Online. So maybe they're going to take a little break from the N64, let it breathe a little bit, and then come back with some more games and add in the Game Boy Advance. Now, of course, if it's a Game Boy Advance emulator, I wonder if they have a separate emulator for Game Boy and Game Boy Color. I'm not sure how, like, the systems work. I don't know if on a Game Boy Advance you can play your Game Boy games natively, or if it's an emulator that's doing it. But if it's a native thing, then I would assume, well, I mean, I guess because the Game Boy Player, you know, you could use Game Boy Advance, Game Boy games, and Game Boy Color games on that. So, you know, that should be fine. I don't know. I'm not tech wave over here, okay? I'm idiot wave. I don't really know anything. But the Game Boy Advance is an awesome system, because now you have to think about all of the games that could potentially come to it, such as Metroid Fusion and Metroid Zero Mission, because those games are stuck on this stupid Wii U, and people are like, oh, if you want to play those games, just buy a Wii U. And it's like, shut the hell up. I cannot stand when people say stupid shit like that. Oh, you should have bought the Wii U and played them on there. It's like, no. No, Nintendo should make these games readily available for people, because they are trying to ride the success of Metroid right now, with the success of Metroid Dread, with Metroid Prime 4 coming out. They want people to be excited about Metroid, yet you're not letting them play some of the basic games within the service. So, you know, that would be an awesome thing. Obviously, there's a lot of great Fire Emblem games on the Game Boy Advance as well. That's actually where I got my start with Fire Emblem, was on the Game Boy Advance. Just tons of stuff, tons of hidden gems, tons of really cool stuff, tons of really interesting ports as well of games, because this was, you know, a 32-bit system at the end of the day. So I'm very excited for this. I'm very excited for this. I feel like there's gonna be an announcement, you know, and this is something that might not happen right away, though. You know, this is something that could happen in the middle of a week, or it might be something that Nintendo is saving for E3. But I do feel like this is going to be added into the expansion pack. And, you know, maybe Game Boy Color got put on the back burner. Maybe they do it all at once. It really remains to be seen, but it's very exciting. It's very exciting. It's very cool. And I want to see more from this. I can't wait to see this in action. I hope, you know, they have come out with a good library of games, because it's a really good system, man. And, you know, so many people have fond memories of it. I definitely don't have quite as many memories of the Game Boy Advance as I do of the N64, but I definitely really enjoyed that system. Here's my biggest Game Boy Advance memory. Kids, don't do stuff like this. When we were seniors in high school, in second period, which started at 10:30, we would always skip second period, and we would go to Arby's, because Arby's opened up at 11, and we'd wait out in the parking lot at Arby's. You could smoke cigarettes inside of Arby's, so that's why we would always go there. And we would literally walk in. It was me and 3 of my friends. We would walk in. They knew our order. Like, we wouldn't have to say anything. We'd just be like, hey, yo, how's it going? We'd go, we'd sit down, we'd take out our Game Boy Advances and link cables, and we'd sit there and play games. And then, you know, maybe we had a little something on the way over there to, you know, release our minds and stuff. We would eat our Arby's, we would pay for it, and we would sit there for, like, because in our high school, classes were an hour and a half long. So that's how we spent an hour and a half at Arby's playing Game Boy Advance. Arby's, we've got the meats, we've got the games, and we got a smoking section at the time. Good times, man, good times. But let me know what you think of the Game Boy Advance potentially coming to the Nintendo Switch, because, I mean, it seems pretty damn real to me. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share the video around. Spread the good news of the Game Boy Advance. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.